Welcome. As Vladimir Putin hammers Ukraine's power grid, Kyiv is preparing for a winter apocalypse while troops shoot drones out of the sky. In a forest near the Ukrainian capital, a video game developer leads a platoon of soldiers braving freezing temperatures to hunt Russian drones that are terrorizing the country. For 2 months, Vladimir Putin's forces have hammered Ukraine's power grid with mass drone and missile strikes, leaving millions without electricity, heating, or running water as a bitter winter sets in. The country is reeling from a devastating new wave of airstrikes overnight, which have forced emergency power cuts nationwide, killed several civilians and left Ukraine's second biggest city, Kharkiv, entirely without electricity. Around 40 missiles were fired at Kyiv alone, one of the biggest barrages since the war began, although city officials said most of those were shot down. Rescuers recovered the body of a 1-year-old boy from the rubble of a Russian strike on a residential building in the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi Rih, the regional governor said on Saturday. It is difficult to write about something like this, Valentin Reznichenko said on the Telegram messaging app of the Friday morning attack, which he said killed 4 people in total. Reuters was not able to independently verify the official's comments. The weekly attacks have overwhelmed Ukraine's air defense system, so the military has scrambled to retrain soldiers like Senior Lieutenant Volodymyr Gorodnikiai to provide any help they can to shoot down drones. His infantry platoon now point their guns to the sky to guard a large portion of the region's power supply. "We're here defending the capital," he said, at the platoon's position in snowy World War II-era trenches outside Kyiv. Just 2 weeks into a long winter, the country is already grappling with a dire power crisis. Military and local leaders are planning for an even greater disaster as civilians brave squalid, freezing conditions. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, a former world boxing champion, has been warning the 2 million civilians left in the capital to prepare to evacuate from a possible winter apocalypse. In the worst-case scenario, there could be a total blackout for a long time. The city could be not available for life, he said in an interview with the ABC this week before the latest airstrikes. He said his city was already at the brink of disaster. "After the last rocket attacks on our hometown, our critical infrastructure was almost destroyed," he said. "If we don't have services, it's going to be like in a horror movie. We'll have to move our citizens to villages just near our hometown." Mr. Klitschko is wary of giving Mr. Putin what he wants if that horror scenario occurs. A city with no civilians is more vulnerable to attack. "The main goal of Russians is that all Ukrainians take our luggage and move out of Ukraine, and make the country free for the Russian army," he said.